hold these truths to be self-evident. Hi, welcome, come on in. My name is Aoife and today I'm taking you through some of my absolute favourite booktubers from the US. This is kind of a wide spectrum of booktubers, including some genres that you wouldn't necessarily think that I would be interested in. I always feel like if you can still get something from their videos, even if it's not technically a genre that you love or that you read a lot, they're still a great hit. First up is Hilary from Melted Books. I believe that Hilary is from Connecticut. She and I have buddy read a book together. We buddy read Weather Girl by Rachel Lynn Solomon back in May, and I had the best time getting to know her, getting to hear her thoughts about the books, reading the book with her, and just having a really great time reading together. Like me, Hilary reads quite a lot of contemporary romance fiction, but she also reads a couple of thrillers, she reads a lot of non-fiction, and she actually introduced me to a non-fiction book that as soon as it went on a 99p Kindle deal, I immediately went to pick it up. It was I Have What She's Having, a kind of a look at three of Nora Ephron's biggest films from the 80s and 90s. I am obsessed with You've Got Mail. It's one of my favourite films of all time. So when I heard that this book existed, I knew it was one that I had to pick up. Next up is Michelle from Michelle's Library. Michelle is from Maryland, but at the moment she is living in North Carolina with her family. And Michelle and I have got incredibly similar tastes in books. We have also buddy read a book together. We read Idle by Louise O'Neill, and both of us were enamoured by this book. Michelle, like me, reads a lot of contemporary romance fiction. She also does read a couple of thrillers. She initially started out her channel as Michelle Reads YA. As she got older, as her reading taste changed, she kind of took herself away from YA, figured out that that wasn't who she was as a person anymore, and has now become firmly contemporary romance fan. Another romance reader who I absolutely adore is Chandler from Chandler Ainsley. Chandler lives in Texas, and watching her videos makes me glad that I do not live in Texas because I would not survive the climate. Chandler is also a big romance reader, but not just contemporary romance, even though we have got quite similar tastes in the books that we've read. She, like me, was also not a big fan of a lot of Tessa Bailey's books, but somehow she managed to wrangle me into getting a copy of It Happened One Summer. So if I don't enjoy this book, firmly on Chandler's head be it. Like I said, she's not just a contemporary romance reader, she also reads a lot of fantasy romance, a lot of kind of Katie Roberts, and Penelope Douglas is a big author favourite of hers. I haven't read any of those two authors before, but I know that if I ever want to start with them, I know where I can go for a guide. Next up is Aimee from Aimee Reads. Aimee lives in Tennessee, and like the others on this list, she and I have quite similar reading tastes. But not necessarily always. I know that a couple of months ago, she had a reading vlog where she read Hamnet by Maggie O'Farrell. That is one of my most anticipated books ever. I did pick up an e-copy of it a couple of months ago, and I think I realised that reading it as an ebook wasn't going to work for the way that I wanted to experience the book. I feel like this has to be read as a physical, turn-the-page book, so I'm going to go back to it at some stage. Aimee did give Hamnet 3 stars, I think. I don't think she was super enamored by it, but I think she gave it about 3 stars. And that has not put me off the book yet. So you can tell I'm gonna have a good time. Next up is Heather from Bookables. I think Heather lives in Virginia. If she's mentioned it, I haven't heard it, but I think I saw Virginia somewhere on the internet. Heather, like myself, is a contemporary romance reader. She's a big contemporary romance fan. But something that I associate with Heather so much is book tags. Heather for me is the BookTube queen of book tags. She's got an entire playlist with something like 200 book tags the whole way across the internet, and I absolutely love just dipping in and out of that playlist now and then and just seeing her thoughts on all of these really random things that would never have gone together on a subscriptions list but work together perfectly. Heather also has 2 children, one of whom is on the autism spectrum, and it's really great to see how much of an involved parent she is, how great of a parent she is with her 2 kids, especially when one of them is on the autism spectrum. Next up is Breanna from 4 Paws in a Book. As you can imagine from the title, Breanna has got dogs. They feature quite a lot in her reading vlogs. She recently just welcomed a new dog into the family, and I adored that vlog. I think Breanna lives in Utah, and the main reason that I found her channel at the start of this year was when she ran Veda, which was vlog every day in April. It gave me a bit more of a boost with my channel that I think I needed, or that I was looking for at the time, and I will be forever grateful to her for welcoming me into the community, for helping me come up with so many great ideas for videos, and just for helping me to expand and boost my creativity. Next is one of my brand new BookTube friends, Lexie from Books with Lexie. If you put Lexie and my book taste together, you would instantly not think that we are such good friends, but opposites do attract. Lexie lives in North Carolina, but at the moment is looking to move to Maryland. And she is a predominantly thriller, mystery, that kind of darker vibe book than I would read, but we have just hit it off. Most recently, Lexie did this amazing book telephone tag thing where she took the last cover of the person that tagged her and then made her whole way through 10 books that had something similar to the previous one, whether it was like a color on the cover or a motif or like the feelings or the vibe of the cover. I was mesmerized by how she could work that through. She's also recently done Kayla's kind of scavenger hunt where you stand in front of your bookshelf and there's like a scavenger hunt going through all of your books to see what book you're going to read next, which I really loved watching. Next up is Nikki from Nikki Reads, and she is the only one on this list who I'm not entirely sure where she's from. However, Nikki, like myself, does read quite a lot of contemporary romance, but something that I love about her channel is that she gives really in-depth but still spoiler-free reviews of all of the books that she's read. I have picked up so many recommendations just from those videos alone. But recently she also did a video where she compared two books in a reading vlog that had a similar theme or a similar idea or a similar trope in them. And the trope was like an enemies to lovers while on holiday thing. I had read the first book that she did, which was The Unhoneymooners, and it's one of my favorite romance books of all time. But the second one that she had was The Layover, and that was one that I had never heard of. But the second that she described it, when she started going into the story, when she was so enamored by it, I instantly went and picked up a copy too. Last on the list is Rye from Rye's Reading Corner. Rye lives in New York State, and we do also have quite similar reading tastes. I think she reads a little bit more fantasy and a little bit more middle grade than I do, but when it comes to the romance books, we are definitely right on the same page. Recently, Rye did a kind of a take on Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin's Unhaul Challenge, where she had to get rid of, I think, 12 books in 30 minutes, and you need to go and check out if she figured it out. But something that I love about Rye's channel is that she quite often takes you on like come book shopping with me videos. And I love just living vicariously of going to Barnes and Noble with her, looking at what's on the shelves, going, I would get that, I would get that, you should get that, why did you buy this? I love watching a come shopping with me video, so those ones are like my kryptonite. Those are just some of my favorite booktubers from the US. Have I missed out any of yours, or who would you put on your list? Don't forget to like and subscribe because I have new videos up every week. Now, get on out of here.